All right, everybody, welcome back. Today we are talking about the Canik TP9 SF Elite Subcompact. Phenomenal gun. We'll get into the details of it. It is a full review today, whereas we've done the first impressions video a couple of weeks ago. This is going to be kind of a little bit more in depth, a little bit longer. Before we get into it, we got to send it over to Norm for the marketing message, as always.
All right. As you know, the boss challenged me not to just ask you guys to subscribe, so I'm not going to do that today. But you know what to do.
All right, Norm, keep taking a crack at it. You're going to get there. Let's talk about it. The Canik TP9 SF Elite Subcompact. Phenomenal gun. We'll just get into the details here in a second, but overall, I really liked it. As much as, geez, every other Canik that I get. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if I'm just becoming a fanboy of Canik or something, but every time I pick up a Canik, I love it. So they're doing a good job, in my opinion. So we'll just have to see what they come out with in the future. But let's talk about the grip. They've got a little bit of stippling here on each side, right? As we mentioned in the last video, as well as checkering on the front and back. I generally like it. My wife does not like the checkering at all, so any of the guns that have that, she just doesn't really prefer it. I liked it. I thought it was fine. I would have liked the stippling all the way around probably, not the checkering, but it doesn't bother me. So it's safe to say that, that they did a good job there. It's plenty. So it really just depends on what you think. If you like the checkering, if you like the stippling, if you have like a little bit of both, then this is the perfect one for you. But like I said, I would have preferred the stippling type on all of it. As far as though what it does for you when you're trying to be when you're trying to get rounds down range, this one is really controllable. Now it is bigger. We're going to compare them, and I should mention we're going to compare these. We did compare these to a bunch. If you're looking at this later, it's going to be already linked. If not, you're going to have to wait a few weeks. It will be linked. But we compared this to 7 other guns. They are just different sizes, different types. Some of the most popular concealed carry guns in the industry, some less popular ones like this one. So check that out. We really had a lot of fun doing it. We compared them side by side, did superlatives. This one had the best trigger. This one had the best whatever. This one was in the mix, and it was a fun one to shoot. And so, but it is bigger. That's the point I wanted to make, is that it's bigger, it's wider, it's just a bigger gun. I wouldn't necessarily conceal this one, and so it's not really a fair comparison, but that's okay. We wanted to include it anyway. And so it's bigger, so it's a lot more controllable. It's a much heavier gun, and so when you're shooting down range, it was a breeze to shoot. Much more fun than the other ones because there's not as much kick. It's just got this controllable. It's a good solid grip. Right, as you can see there, it's just much wider than some of these others. Really, really good. So safe to say it was the most controllable gun that we worked with, and easiest to shoot, easiest to get back on target, and so there wasn't much slipping happening or anything like that. Okay, let's talk about the sights. So these ones are interesting because we've got these blacked out in the rear, and we've got the white here in the front. Generally speaking, I don't mind when there's white dots or the U-notch like Glock does. I like that a lot. This one's blacked out though, and I liked it probably more. It's very, very easy to pick up. A lot of contrast there. And just the shape of them are really nice to work with. I was able to get on target really quickly, get back on target after I've shot really quickly. It was just very, very fast, very, very efficient, and seemed to be really accurate, right? And so that's all I'm looking for with sights. Most of us know that these guns are more accurate than we are. And so if we can use the parts of the gun to help us be more accurate more quickly, that's all we're looking for. I should mention that there is a nice shelf there that you could do one-handed manipulations off of a belt or something. It's actually a really good shelf there that you could do that with, and so not all the guns had that, but this one does. It's just something to keep in mind, kind of a cool feature that they added here. Definitely sturdy, heavy-duty sights, and so it's going to be a good addition to the pistol. Now it's time to get into my favorite part of this pistol, and that's the trigger. So the trigger on any Canik, in my opinion, is superior to most of the other striker-fired triggers. So as you can see, this take up right here, a little bit of creep, and then the break, and the break is crisp. There's the reset. It happened quick. There isn't much frontward travel on that, and then not much creep there at all. Let's do it again. Very short reset, audible, tactile, everything you want. You can feel it, hear it, everything, and then really good. So let's show you one more time. The trigger pull, a little bit of creep, and then a very crisp break. This is honestly, in my opinion, and people are gonna disagree, I just know that already, I like these triggers on striker-fired pistols more than any other triggers out there, even the PPQ. although those are very good as well. I just love these triggers. They just work well. They help me be accurate very quickly, which is all I'm looking for, right? The gun's more accurate than me. If we took me out of the equation, it's going to pretty much do what we want it to do. But then if we put in the trigger and all this stuff and then get me behind the gun, I just shoot it really well, very accurately, very quickly. Okay, let's get into reliability. Somebody mentioned actually in another video I did with this gun in it, they mentioned that there was some reliability issues they've seen with the subcompact here for the TP9, and that I got one of the good ones, and I was very lucky. And so I really haven't seen, okay, let's talk about this first. I had perfect reliability out of this gun. 300 plus rounds through it, and not a single malfunction, even with some really crappy ammo we were using. It functioned flawlessly, no issues. Now that person, and I'll have to annotate below, sorry I forgot who it was, but I will mention it below. They said that they have had reliability issues, and they've seen that a lot of people have had reliability issues. And so that's something to mention, or to know at least, that I should mention, that it has had apparently reliability issues. But I've seen none of that. It's been perfectly reliable through all kinds of ammo. We put some, a couple of different hollow points. Spear Gold Dot was one of them. We put all kinds of Full Metal Jacket rounds through this, and it just ate it all up perfectly fine, and was a pleasure to shoot. But that's something that you should keep in mind. Do a little bit more research, look at some other reviews, see if anyone else has seen those issues. I don't know if it is widespread, or if there's just been some blowback just from a few people that have had some issues with it. Let's talk about concealability. That's where this gun, for me, has issues. It is not very concealable if you're comparing to something like the Glock 43, the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield, any of these. In fact, I just happen to have the Glock 43 here. If we're comparing those side by side, they are just, in size-wise, the Canik's just a bigger pistol, right? Whether or not you think this is a concealed carry pistol, it could be carried that way. A lot of people carry larger pistols for that extra round count that you get here, 12 plus 1 in the chamber, or if you're carrying a bigger magazine, more than that. So you're just going to have to evaluate that for yourself. I personally wouldn't carry this very much. I carried it a little bit, but man, I just did not enjoy it. It's too big, too bulky. I don't know if it's the clothes I wear or what, but it's just not my favorite type of carry pistol. If you like bigger pistols, then disregard all of that. If it doesn't bother you, if you're like, hey, you know what, that's not a factor for me, then disregard all that and use it. It's a great gun. It's definitely worth carrying if you can carry the size. To be totally honest, other than the fact that it's a bigger pistol to carry, it's not too aggressive, it's not bad. It's just a bigger, fatter pistol, especially when you're considering these the slide stop on both sides, making it even wider. It's just a big pistol. And so you're getting that extra round count, but you can kind of get that. You can get 11 plus 1 in the Hellcat and 10 plus 1 in the SIG, which is almost as many rounds. So you're gonna have to take that for what it's worth. Still a great gun, but for me, concealability, not as easy. Time to talk about our favorite thing, and that is the aesthetics. Okay, I actually like these pistols. I think they're phenomenal, especially the Elite 2, right? The Canik TP9 Elite, and then the Elite Subcompact, where it's got that two-tone, the kind of that tungsten gray or whatever this is, and then this black look. And then honestly, the trigger right there that's got that red blade in the middle, it just looks really nice. It's balanced. It's got the serrations, which obviously are more than aesthetic. They're functional as well. They work really well to do press checks or to rack the slide, whatever way you do it. They work really well, but they also look really good. Everything else about the pistol, obviously got a rail here. You can mount all kinds of stuff on there, lights, lasers, whatever it is. The other thing, though, with the aesthetic as well as functionality, it does have on both sides, as I mentioned a second ago, it's got the slide stop, slide release. This would be a gun you could very easily use the slide stop as a slide release. By the way, if you're wondering about whether you can use the slide stop as a slide release, we have several videos on it. We'll link them up here, what it is, what it's for, and whether or not manufacturers suggest you use it. Well worth checking out. It's a great video. We did a lot of research on that one, and just how it works and stuff. So if you're new to guns, definitely go check that out. Even if you aren't, it's worth a watch. Obviously, it's got this plate up here. You can put some sort of red dot as well, which is also cool if that's something that you're looking to do. You do have that ability where you don't have that in very many of the others. The Hellcat does have that ability if you buy the OSP version, but none of the others really do. Okay, so time to take it all in, right? We've talked about most of the parts of the gun here. Now, what would we say about our overall impressions of the Canik TP9 SF Elite Subcompact? Honestly, phenomenal gun. It was one of our favorites to shoot. I took 5 different people out shooting at different times, and every single one of them, well, I'd say about half of them actually. Half of them said it was their number one gun. They wouldn't mind, even though it's bigger, they wouldn't mind taking it out. They love the trigger, they love the sights, they love the grip, everything. The people who liked it the most tended to be bigger, and so that would make sense because the grip's bigger. It's just a more substantial weapon, and so the smaller people thought, it's a nice gun, but I definitely couldn't carry that around. And I'm kind of average size, I'm about 6 feet tall, got fairly big hands, normal size hands probably, and I wouldn't carry this myself. Other people would, and so just know that the overall impressions are phenomenal pistol. Trigger, sights, grip, everything's great. However, it's just in that size category that some of us it just doesn't work for. Others of us, it's perfect. So you're just gonna have to take that for what it's worth. See if you're one of those people that likes bigger guns, doesn't mind carrying the bigger gun, the heavier gun. If you are, then go out and pick it up. It's a great pistol. Definitely check it out. Do some more research. Pick it up, feel it, go shoot it at the range. But definitely a great option. One of the biggest selling points for this gun, I would say, is the price point for what you're getting. Like I said, all these things that we loved about the gun, and you're getting it for about $379. If you compare that even to the Glock 43 or any of these other guns, you're getting like $100 off, 50 to $100 off, especially some of these newer ones like the P365. And obviously it's bigger and stuff, and so you're giving up some things, but the price point is phenomenal. I would highly recommend it for that reason alone, as long as it's reliable, right? You're getting so much for such a small price. I mean, the trigger, most of these other guns you're paying so much and the triggers aren't very good or they're okay. This one's a phenomenal trigger and everything else is great. It's high build quality, it's great, and you're getting it for a huge discount. So if that's something that you're looking for, a good price, and you don't really care about size and everything like that, this would be one to look at. Guys, as always, we do want to say, make sure to like, subscribe, engage, watch videos all the way through, not just ours, everyone's in the gun community, so that we can show YouTube this is a very valuable part of their business, because that's what YouTube does. They make money off of ads and other things like that. So just remember that. Try to support people in the gun community, give your feedback, be positive, bury the trolls, and we'll see you next time.